Hi, Darren Mangum here, the PPM attorney. Um, I thought I'd post a video that talks about the differences between a joint venture and the offering of a security. Recently, I attended a real estate investor conference in Florida, and one of the topics that came up quite a bit was, what's the difference between a joint venture and an offering of securities? And let me just explain a little bit. A lot of times when you're doing a real estate venture, you might get a couple partners together. Hey, I'm going to put in some money. I'll put in all this, my time, and they put together what's called a joint venture, and write up a joint venture agreement, and off to the races you go. Does that involve the offering of a security or not? And that's a very good question, because if it does involve the offering of a security, then obviously the anti-fraud provisions of federal and state securities laws come into effect, and you have to provide disclosure, a full PPM, and all of that. So, I know deals are done all the time. People do these kind of things, and so just wanted to illustrate briefly. And feel free to call me if you have any further questions. But just the differences between what makes something a joint venture, and when would a joint venture potentially become a security, right? So, in a nutshell, a joint venture is when you have two or more parties that come together for the purpose of doing some sort of business deal, some sort of venture. And all the partners have an equal voice or an equal vote or say so. Now, it may be just disproportionate as far as the voting power. I might have 10%. You might have 51%. All of this kind of thing comes into play in a joint venture. But all of us as joint venture partners have an equal vote, an equal say so. We're all on the books. We're all on the bank account, and we all operate accordingly, and whenever we have to make a decision, we all decide together. That's what a true joint venture is. The risk happens when it comes to securities laws is when, you might put together a joint venture agreement, but really the investor, or one of the partners, one of the joint venture partners, really all they are is putting in money, and they're not really participating in the decision making, right? Like what kind of assets are we buying, or what kind of deal are we doing? They're just sort of like, oh, hey, here's a check. I'm just going to put in money. Call me next month or 6 months from now, and let me know how things are going. If it's that kind of partner, then you're really looking at a security, because as we all know, the definition of a security is any sort of investment in a common enterprise that when you're reliant upon the efforts of a third party in order to make a return on your investment, that's what involves a security. And a lot of it has to do with control and things like that. So, before you go jumping off into a joint venture, certainly be mindful of those kind of general parameters, and so you don't inadvertently make an offering of securities to somebody that really should be treated as an investor. Now, clearly, obviously, if you are offering investment to investors, and you are just taking their money, and you say, hey, we'll call you later, let you know what we invest in, and everything like that. That is hands down a security. Hands down, you've got to definitely provide them with full disclosure and all the rest of it through a PPM. Certainly, I can help you with that. But again, devil's in the details. If you have anything that is similar, or something that you're working on, again, feel free to pick up the phone, give me a shout, shoot me a text or an email, and I'd be happy to walk through your particular circumstance. Anyway, I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you on another video. Thank you.